Today's video is going to be European mount. If you're squeamish at all and don't like to see blood and stuff, I wouldn't watch this because she gets a little messy. Get you a nice sharp knife. I like fillet knives. Get you some gloves, knife sharpener, and then just go right to town. I have these 2 bucks here. I was lucky enough to get both my tags filled out. Can't shoot any more bucks, so where do you go from here? And it's still deer season. Well, you can go out and shoot does, of course, which I'm going to do. In the meantime, I'm going to do some European mounts with these guys. Probably gonna be like a 2-part video because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and it does take a little while. I've still got to flesh out both these heads, got to skin them, remove as much muscle and all that stuff. Yeah, so that takes a while, and I got 2 heads to do and only a couple hours of daylight. So hopefully tonight I'm gonna get both of the heads fleshed out, and then tomorrow I'm going to boil them and hopefully boil them both at the same time and finished up. So stay tuned for that. First thing I gotta do is separate the hides from the heads. Oscar, what are you doing, boy? Hide, set it over here. All right. I usually take the heads and just use the horns for a little kickstand like that. I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen this up. That's that. Lots of different ways you can do European mounts. Well, not a lot, but a few. Some guys use beetles. Some people like bury them in the ground and bugs get them. Some people let them stick it on a fence post and pull it off a year later and scrape off the crust. I like the boiling method just because it's the fastest method, and I just like the way they come out. It's got some kind of cons to it because when you boil bone structure, there's so many seams in it that if you're not careful when you boil it, they'll split apart. You really got to watch them. But even if they do, you can correct it. You can glue them together. You can, even at the end, usually put some glue and stuff on it. We'll get to all that. Thing you want to try to do is when you're cutting, some of it's hard to cut when you're cutting in. Be careful you don't cut into the skull. You leave little score marks. Just follow the hide, and you can flesh it out a little bit more when you get the hide off. I forgot to. I was going to kind of time this today and tomorrow. Started at 4 o'clock. We're 14 minutes in. See how long it takes to do this. Longest part's going to be boiling them. Get all that meat to where it falls off the bone. That's what you want. I remember around the eyeballs, the bone structure is kind of a big cage around that socket. Try not to cut into that as you're fleshing around that area. And once you get it, see there, just kind of got it split into 2 pieces and just kind of work each side off. It's kind of tricky around the horn because there's like a real thick hide and kind of just a real gristly type of flesh on there. Sometimes that can be a real pain to get that off. I try to go around it underneath it and just pressure around it and try to kind of get it cut away best I can. Once I think I'm kind of there, make a slit in, cut it off best I can. Like I say, I mean, it's a 1/8 inch thick. It's just really tough right on top of that thick skin, right on top of the skull. As you can see there. I guess I'll just cut some. Be able to see it good there. There's 1/2. There you can see what I'm talking about right there. Real thick around that crown. That's kind of cool. Get in there and clean it up. We'll just kind of throw that on the side and get right down to business here. You just stick your knife in there and chop away and keep working at it. Don't cut any of the stuff coming out of the brain cavity there. You can pull any of that out when you pull this off. So that's kind of some of the hard stuff to get out is right there. That brain stem, all that. Get it all out as much as you can. Sooner the better. Do this just kind of pre-boil. Cavity for the brains right there. I like to kind of get a stick or something, get in there and mix everything up. Helps it all come out faster. The brains are really fatty. You don't want that getting in your water. You want to get that out as soon as you can. So if you can mash that up, I'm going to run the hose through it in just a second. Just get as much of that out as we can. You won't get all of it, not right away, but gotta just shake out anything you can. So after you boil it, a lot of that'll break up too. So. Alright, there we go. I'm going to rinse the blood and stuff off the horns, and he's going to be ready for the pot. Number 2. $5.16. So really it just took me about an hour to do both these heads. Got them both down about as much as I'm going to do with them. I might pick at them a little more around the eye sockets and that kind of stuff, but ready for the pot. Tomorrow we'll boil them down and go from there. See you tomorrow. So removing the jawbones, I didn't really touch much on that. Somehow I managed to do 2 heads and didn't get any of that on film, but so this one's already been cut out, but I'll just show you. Usually right in here is the joint for the jaw, and the muscles control it right up in this little socket area. So you gotta put your knife in there and cut on both sides of it. And what I do is I'll just flip it right up. After I get it cut, it'll flip right up like that. You continue cutting it and then it comes right out. So I've got both the heads in the water right now, waiting for it to come up to temperature. I'm just for a bottom. I'm just using my burner. It's just my little Bass Pro fryer bottom, and I got this steel tub of water big enough you can put 2 heads in it. So you do want to try to keep these burrs or crowns, I just call them crowns, the crown of the horn there, out of the water as you're boiling best you can. Stuff should just starting to peel off. Start seeing stuff like this, the roof of the mouth starting to come off, and things are starting to break free. That's what you want. Trying to get that brain and stuff out of there. Wife picked me up this Gerber machete for my birthday. She knows me so well. Alright, now it's 10 to 2. I'm going to pull them out again here and have a look at them. Well, they're both getting real close, but I ran out of propane, so I wonder if that might happen. So this is probably going to be a 3-part video. But I think I'm going to hit them with a pressure washer now. See if I can clean them up some. Change the water out, get more propane, and boil them some more. Alright. So time got away from me a little bit. I ended up getting some more propane. It's December 12th now. Anyway. This is the finishing last touch of this, and when I pull them out, we're going to do the final cleaning, make sure there's nothing in the brain cavities or anything like that. I'll show you the last step. I'm going to add just a little bit of dish soap here. This is just some palm olive power degreaser, and the idea being it is just any fat that has gotten into the bone, just kind of help take care of that. Weather has really gone to crap out here. Had to put up a little windbreak there.
All right, snow's coming down now. Ouch. I think we're there. I finished cleaning these guys up a little bit. And it's going to be the final touches. They're looking pretty good. You're going to have to let them dry out. The final 2 steps of the European mounts. I'm down in my basement right now because it got cold out and I want things to be able to dry properly, so we're down here where it's nice and toasty. One thing you got to do is glue the teeth in because everything's loose now that you boiled it. Just make sure all these natural creases have glue in them. I got done boiling it and I dropped this one and this whole nose piece busted off where that crease is. Whole thing just popped right off. So I've already glued that. I'm letting it finish drying up and we'll get to the next step. Sometimes when you use super glue in those creases too, they will, you'll see it on the outside of the paint. It'll be like shiny looking, I guess. Just take some sandpaper and rough it up a little bit. But you can see I'm getting real close with the spray can. There's like runny paint and stuff. It's kind of what I want. Put it on real thick and just let the paint kind of ooze in all the cracks and everything. It's kind of what I go for. Chickens are mad, it's cold outside. And as you can see, I wrapped the lower portion of the horns with some saran wrap. That's just to keep paint off the horns, obviously. So we're going to use just a rattle can and white paint. This is the way I've done it in the past on all the European mounts I've done, and I've loved the way they came out. So it's fast, it holds up, and it looks good. There he is, all painted up. The other thing the paint does is it acts as like a sealant too. I like that. Glues it all together, but I'll get another shot of them when they're done and dried off. But yeah, I like the way these come out. There's the finished product. Took about 5 hours, well, 5-6 hours. And just stuff you got at home, boil them, super glue, dish soap. Like I say in the beginning of the video, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. This way's worked for me, and why pay somebody $50, $100 to do a European mount when you can just knock it out in a few hours at home? And it's fun to do. So, thanks for watching.